I want to speak about our sister Adriana Smith down there in Georgia, who went into the hospital's office at 8 weeks pregnant, complaining about a headache. Turns out our sister had blood clots on her brain. Now, sadly and unfortunately, doctors could do nothing to save our sister. She would succumb to these blood clots on her brain. But here's the crazy part right here, family. Georgia has something called the HeartBeat law, to where as though in these kinds of scenarios, when the mother, passes away, they keep them on life sustaining equipment to make sure and ensure that the child, is brought into this world, which I don't agree with, because it sounds inhumane to me. They've already said that this baby won't be born at full capacity. It won't have a full quality of life, and it'll have all sorts of health complications, due to this nonsense, and not to mention the child won't even, be able to, even know its mother, because the mother ain't there, So if you ask me, the sole determining factor on if a mother, stays alive and, stays on life sustaining equipment, that should rest in the hands of the family, not the state. So I got the audio and the video of this nonsense, and we're going to walk through and talk about it how we normally do, family. Fair use.
New developments right now in the case of a pregnant woman being kept alive on life support. 11 Alive first told you about Adriana Smith last week. She went to the hospital 8 weeks into her pregnancy, complaining of a headache, and just hours later, doctors declared her brain dead. It's a story that's making headlines all around the globe, sparking debates over Georgia's HeartBeat law.
Tonight, our Cody Alcorn spoke exclusively with Smith's mother again about the emotional toll of this pregnancy, and she says the state left them no choice but to continue. He's live now from Emory University Hospital in Midtown. Cody, we know this is a situation that has really been taxing for this family.
It really has, Jennifer and Ron. Adriana was moved here to Emory Midtown on Tuesday. She's expected to remain on life support through August, when doctors plan to deliver her baby by C-section. 30-year-old Adriana Smith is 22 weeks pregnant.
But she's not there. She's not there. But the baby's there.
April Newkirk says her daughter was declared brain dead on February 19th. Adriana was 8 weeks pregnant.
We wanted to know if she was to abort, would she have a chance at her life? And they said there was no chance or no hope.
In Georgia, the state's HeartBeat law bans abortions after a fetal heartbeat is detected.
So at that point, we continued with the pregnancy that we didn't have a choice or a say about. And I just want to be clear on something. We want her to have her baby. We want her life to continue throughout her children. But at the same
And if you want the life, your child's life to live on throughout her children, this sister's already got a perfectly, healthy 7-year-old son, to my knowledge and understanding. So her life can live on through that child, but this right here ain't it, because even with me, if I can help it, I want my child to be born with the best quality of life, as so long as I can help it. But let's continue.
same time, to see her lay there like that, for that length of time, the grieving process for us, it can't even start, because every time we go, we grieve and we hurt. And
Yeah, not to be insensitive, but this right here, keeping a woman alive, just to sustain that, child's life that's inside of her, at the cost and the risk of this child having all sorts of health complications, this, that, and the other. This ain't it, not to be insensitive, not to mention that, her family and loved ones goes there and sees her, on all of this life sustaining equipment. So, that reopens old wounds, they never able to really start that grieving process and that mourning process properly. But let's continue.
it's just unreal. It's unreal for anyone to go through this.
April says they named her daughter's baby Chance.
Because to me, he's getting a second chance.
Despite his mom's condition,
The baby is the right weight, a little bit over, which is a good sign. He has his legs, his toes, his limbs. Heartbeat is good and strong. It's just maybe because of the loss of consciousness with my daughter, the lack of oxygen that the baby didn't get. So that's where the cerebellum comes into place.
Baby Chance's future is still uncertain.
So the journey is for baby Chance to survive, and in whatever condition God allows him to come here in, we're going to love him just the same, and we're going to embrace him.
Adriana does have a 7-year-old son. His name is Chase, and he has no idea what is happening. He still thinks his mom is just asleep. Now, as you mentioned,
Now that's sad right there. This is what I'm saying. This family and even her 7-year-old son not able to, properly start the grieving process and the mourning process because every time they go see her, it's opening up old wounds. Yeah, this right here ain't it. They need to certainly, revive this, so-called heartbeat law. But let's continue.
This whole case has sparked a conversation. It has sparked debate about the gray areas of the state's heartbeat law. And as reported last week, when I first sat down with April, she believes the heartbeat law needs to be re-examined and changed.
Cody, certainly a very difficult situation all the way around there. Thank you so much for bringing us that update tonight. Meanwhile, in a statement released last week from Georgia's Attorney General Chris Carr, his office said in part, there is nothing in the Life Act that requires medical professionals to keep a woman on life support after brain death. Removing life support is not an action with the purpose to terminate a pregnancy.
Yeah, but in closing, I want to say my condolences out to our sister Adriana Smith and her family, friends and loved ones. May she rest in peace, and just a sad, set of unfortunate circumstances, but, these are just my thoughts on the matter. But, this heartbeat law certainly needs to be readvised and re-examined because every law don't apply to every case and scenario, just like every paintbrush, ain't applicable to every canvas. Just my thoughts on the matter. Peace.